Hi, scientists. Our first mystery was, why would a hawk move to a city? And the answer is to get food. We know that all consumers need energy in order to live, and consumers get their energy by eating food. So what I'd like for you to do is I'd like for you to have your Biosphere Bites packet. It should be in your school folder. If you cannot find your Biosphere Bites packet, I want you to email me. You open your Gmail, you click compose, and start in the you can start typing HUBB and find Rebecca Hubbard. I've got a black and white butterfly. So if you cannot find this packet, please email me right away and let me know. In the Biosphere Bites packet, we are going to turn to page 5. I'm sorry, not page 5, part 5. And you are going to make additions to your biosphere. So the biosphere is all of the living things that are on Earth, and we created a model that's going to show, if we were going to go to Mars, what's everything that we would need. Now, fifth graders, we know it's not actually going to look like this, and all of the things that we have written down are going to be really hard to get to space, but it's fun for us to be able to think about it. So what we've learned is energy stored in food was once energy from the sun. So the first thing that I'd like for you to add to your model is sunlight. Now, I did look online and I'm not quite sure, so I'm going to add the sun. You can use your pencil, colored pencils. So after reading online, it's very possible that if we were actually going to go to Mars, we would find a light energy source that's not going to be sunlight. I read that there are lots of dust storms that would block the sunlight. Like, Mars does get exposed to the sunlight. It's just not the same as it is on Earth. The angle is different, and like I said, the dust storms block the sunlight. So it's very possible that there might need to be a solar powered light source, but for our model we're going to go ahead and go with the sun. And you can draw the sun anywhere that you would like. So what we know is that plants are producers, and they are getting their energy from the sun. We're going to make sure, I forgot to tell you this, we're going to make sure that every living thing in our biosphere has something to eat. So you might need to add something. If you have a living thing and it has nothing to eat, that's going to be a problem because it won't have energy and it's going to end up dying. And then you won't have energy because you're not going to have the food that you need. So we're making sure, does every living thing have something to eat? Well, so that's why I started with the sun, because all of the plants, they are producers and they get their energy from the sun. And so I'm going to draw an arrow from the sun to these plants to show that these plants are getting energy from the sun. We've also got grass, so I'm going to draw another arrow. And then these are fruit trees, and so I'm going to draw an arrow to the fruit trees. You can use marker, color pencils, regular pencils. So our producers, our plants, have energy and are getting energy from the sun. Okay, now thinking about over here, I have goats, okay? And maybe you don't have goats, and that's okay, but you do have other living things. And so goats are going to be eating the grass. So the energy from the grass, oh, that looks like that's pointing at the chicken. Fifth graders, it's not pointing at the chicken, it's pointing at the grass. And so the energy from the grass is going to go to the goats, okay? Chickens, same thing. They're going to eat, I've got some corn here, so the energy from the corn is going to go to the chickens. So chickens eat grains and vegetables. So if you have, do you hear my background noise? I've got a little puppy who wants to be held, but I'm not going to hold him. Chickens eat grains and vegetables, and so from the vegetable garden, the energy from those plants are going to go to the chickens, okay? Remember, the arrow shows the transfer of energy. So the energy goes from the sun to the plants. The energy from the plants go to the chickens or to the goats, okay? I also have some bees here, And these fruit trees are eventually going to flower. So the fruit trees, and that's bees need to get pollen. And so from the plants, so from those fruit trees, the energy from the fruit trees will go to the bees. So I'm checking my living things. I have plants, and they're getting their energy from the sun. And then I have chickens and goats, and they're going to get their energy from the plants and the vegetables and the grasses. And then I have bees, and they're going to get their energy from the fruit trees. Fifth graders, this starts to look a little bit messy, but it's messy in a good way. It's showing us a connection between energy stored in food was once energy from the sun, because if we follow the energy from the sun, it's going to these plants, and then the energy from these plants are going to these chickens. And then eventually, if there was a human drawn here, right, for us, then the energy from the chicken is going to go to the human. So please take time to make sure that every living thing has something to eat. If it doesn't have something to eat, add it in, something that you can grow, and then draw arrows to show the energy going from the food source to the living thing. Please do that now.